I think that today we still see, why don't we? I mean, we 180 degrees, but why can we still not build effective relationships? Japan changed their mind because they wanted to catch up with the Western world. They wanted to industrialize. They wanted to become successful.
In Meiji era?
In Meiji era. And they became incredibly successful in catching up with the West. But on the other hand, they did not build relationships with Americans, with Europeans.
What?
Why was that? Because even though they changed their mind, even though they were able to catch up, they also still had their old Edo mentality, because that was had become ingrained into their culture. So the Edo values, the Edo attitude, the attitude of being islanders, of being isolated, of having a very strong cohesion within that society, that was not let go. There was just put another layer on top of it.
True, I agree.
So that's why we were very successful, we being the Japanese, very successful to become westernized. But at the same time, we didn't give up on Confucianism.
Yeah.
So in order to understand, in order to build trusts, we cannot just look at Japan in Meiji era. We also need to look at Japan in Edo era, because that is part of who we are under the surface. Three-dimensional.
Japan is actually occupied by American army, but physically did not occupy.
Right.
Not many armies get inside Japan instead of Philippines. Philippines is Spanish occupied and American occupied. Completely occupied. So they changed the culture, but Japanese, they didn't change the culture.
No.
And so these kind of closed countries since Edo era still continue until now on.
Right.
So, and the language also Japanese, isolated, and that is one reason. After war is more stronger, isolation is happening.
But it's not unique to Japan, I think. I think every culture has this. So if we look at, for example, Europe today, right? There is no church. People don't go to church anymore. So that you can say basically Europeans have given up on the church, so it's no longer relevant in today's Europe. But that's not true, because actually, historically speaking, the church was of great influence on our culture, and we still have the old European culture. Mm-hmm. So you can say that, okay, the church is no longer relevant. That's not true.
You don't read Bible?
No. People don't go to church anymore. People don't read the Bible anymore.
What kind of material they're going to read for their moral?
Facebook.
Moral. Facebook?
Facebook.
No kidding.
No, seriously, people read Facebook. They don't read the Bible.
How are they going to handle for?
They watch television.
What are they going to
Facebook.
handle for 10 commandments? No commandment?
Well, that's the thing. Not from the Bible, but in our culture, we still have these unwritten rules. And the source of that is the Bible, the values that we have received from our great-grandparents.
What in school? What kind of moral education are you going to get from school?
Not so much.
Oh my God!
Not so much.
Incredible.
We don't have any morale in this. You know that.
Oh yeah.
No, that's not it. So it depends a little bit on what kind of school you're going, and some Christian schools, they
but
still...
my simple question, why British is so brutality until now, French?
Why they are so brutal?
Yeah. Still they sustain the African authorized investment.
Oh.
Still occupied, many outside the country. America is the same, right? Why Westerners so brutality to invading many countries?
So for colonialism?
No, not only colonialism. Until now, their mindset is the same.
Oh, why they are capable to colonialize?
The mentality, not the colonialism. Mentality is the same as colonialism. That any negotiation, doing business, anytime they try to chasing.
Money.
Money or brutal chasing kind of.
Oh, very money.
Money, yeah. Why?
Money.
Why?
Money.
But Confucianism is not chasing money.
No. So we are not Confucianists. Well, actually, throughout history, these were parallel truths, right? You have whatever happened.
Okay, Christianity don't do that.
No, Christianity is whatever happened during the week was completely different what happened on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So basically, Christianity has been designed in a way that whatever you do during the week, on Sunday you go to church, you say, I'm sorry. Then God will forgive you. And then on Monday, life resumes. And then you can basically chase money and do all kinds of things that actually do not fit within.
Do you know China?
No.
Daytime you can do bad thing, but night she just I'm sorry, just got out of him every night.
Right.
So they are doing every day wrongdoing.
Right.
No problem. At night I say I'm sorry.
Right.
They got out of them too.
It's Christianity is basically the same thing.
But weekly basis, right? Chinese daily basis. Japanese, we don't have that.
No. We basically we do the same thing, right? So basically, you pray to God like every day.
No, Japanese don't have a God.
Right.
Don't have a kind of place.
Right.
We have many gods, but God never allow you to do that.
Right.
So that is the different people in the world. Do you know that? Only Japanese is different. None of the similar people in the world. Westerner or Korean, Chinese, Japanese different. It's something strange, I understand, but different. But they don't know.
So basically, but today's Japanese do not know that. They do not realize that from themselves. They
do you know why?
Well, I don't think that if you would ask a regular person in Europe why they are the way that they are, what they are.
No, simple. They don't know outside the world.
No, but Europeans also don't know who they are. No.
You know the French, you know the German.
No, I only know the box where most French people fit in.
You just speak multiple language and you try to communicate with many national people, right? No,
yes.
Japanese, no.
Right. And by reading information that is available to us, by being able to communicate, I can kind of get an idea of the box that they are in, but that doesn't mean that I know French people.
Unconsciously, you are doing that kind of communicate many kind of people, nationalities, but Japanese they don't. I tell you, Japanese can't speak English, so how come they can communicate with overseas people? Many people. 20 million people coming from outside to Japan, and they sightseeing here. But I met with Scottish lady at Matsumoto Castle, and she saw me, and I speak. I say something. She neglected, right? Then I try to speak English. May I help you? She started to speak Scottish. But I don't understand what she says, right? But she believed Japanese never speak English. And she don't never to try to eye contact. She's shaking my eye contact. But I started speaking English, she started speaking English. Japanese never speak English. They don't want to communicate with overseas people. Because if you're going to ask me, what kind of answer I can make for you? I have nothing, I have no knowledge. Right? How if she going to ask me, how do you think about Scottish? Oh my God, I don't know.
No, but actually that's a stupid question. Why would she assume that we know a lot about Scottish?
We?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
No, exactly.
No, I don't know.
No, but I mean that's exactly the same as asking her to talk about what her opinion about President Tanaka. I mean, she doesn't know. Of course, she doesn't know.
No. She came to Japan. She many places to meet with Japan. She has a question for many Japanese people, but nothing common interest. None of common interest she can find out. What kind of question she make speak out to Japanese, but Japanese cannot answer anything at all. But Japanese don't. They are not interested, but she's interested in.
Mm.